Well, hello there, everyone. We are here doing the lessons of A Course in Miracles, and today we are doing lesson number 248, Whatever Suffers is Not Part of Me. So I'm still here in the same location. I'm near Hoodsport, Washington. Last night, the tide was here. So it's really interesting to come out at sunrise and see how far back the water is and how peaceful and still and calm it is out here. And I love that. I love observing and being in tune with what's happening around me and just kind of appreciating the differences. So it's good to kind of slow down and notice and smell and feel and just be in it. So what you can also notice is whatever is suffering, and this lesson is going to teach us how that is not part of us. Whatever suffers is not part of me. I have disowned the truth. Now let me be as faithful in disowning falsity. Whatever suffers is not part of me. What grieves is not myself. What is in pain is but illusion in my mind. What dies was never living in reality, and did but mock the truth about myself. Now I disown self-concepts and deceits and lies about the Holy Son of God. Now am I ready to accept him back as God created him as he is. Father, my ancient love for you returns and lets me love your Son again as well. Father, I am as you created me. Now is your love remembered and my own. Now do I understand that they are one. And that is lesson 248. Whatever suffers is not part of me. It's pretty clear. Not a whole lot of discussion there. It's just not part of you. So the suffering, the upsets, it's not part of you. I think that there's this wisdom in a teaching which is very much connected to this. I'm still listening to the 40 Days and 40 Nights. I think today I'm on 31, the morning session where Jesus talks about the image of the octopus, which is our oversoul. And the octopus has information and synchronizes and connects all the tentacles. And the tentacles are your concurrent lifetimes. We call them past lives and as if time exists, but it's really, the oversoul is reaching out to all these different experiences that the big you is having, and emphasizes that it's really good to focus on your current incarnation. You can have curiosities about concurrent or past lives, but really focus on this one. And that we suffer with this idea of feeling alone or feeling victimized or whatever kind of comes to the surface, not realizing how many other me's are in play right now and feeding information back up to the head of the octopus, which then gets disseminated down to all, because as the whole fullness of yourself raises its consciousness and has all these life experiences, each tentacle benefits from that. So even the idea of aloneness is a huge program in our society. We're so not alone. We already know we have our guides and teachers. We got high vibrational materials that we can read. We have Jesus, we have Ananda, we have Xena, Zekiel, Shotal, all the different beings and collectives that have come to help us, the Pleiadians, the Arcturians, it's just endless. So we know we're not alone from that regard, but even in our own selves, we have multiple other versions right now doing whatever they're doing across the multiverse. And the suffering is petty. Whatever it is that we're suffering about here in this incarnation, it's like, it pulls our focus away from raising our vibration and being love and letting go surrendering, accepting what is, not fighting, not attacking. Okay, so let's see what a year of forgiveness has to say about this lesson. And again, I love these drawings here. So this one says, illusions of self. And it's funny, like I was just saying, this octopus analogy that Jesus was sharing in the other lessons does talk about other selves. Those are not illusions, though. This illusion of self is more about, in this particular lifetime, we're in the Western world, it's 2022, and we're not totally awake yet. And we're getting there. Okay. What suffers is not part of me. You are blessed beings indeed. I am that one you know as Jesus. This seems to be a very harsh lesson for some of you. You have become used to seeing your sadness as part of you. You even believe that to be sad means that you love somebody, or you care for somebody, or that you have compassion for a situation. But that is not so. Suffering is not required. When you function in the higher realms of love, you do not suffer at all. You do not feel the disconnection from love that causes suffering. That is all suffering is. It is your disconnection from the truth, which is love. That means you end up as an evolved being, connected to all that is, connected to love, through your guidance system. It means that you allow everything you accept. It means that you allow everything and you accept everything, even those things that the ego mind says are unacceptable. And I needed to hear that. Even those things that the ego mind says are unacceptable. This is a challenge for all of you, because if you lose a beloved being in your life, you think that to grieve and suffer and gnash and pull your hair out is part of you. It seems so true when you are in the ego mind, because the ego has convinced you that the body of that being is gone, so that being must be gone. This is a lie. The being has not gone. When you believe in bodies, when you worship bodies, and when you grieve over the loss of bodies, then you are, by your actions, demonstrating that you think people or other beings, such as your pets, were their bodies, and they are not. They are the eternal connection you have with them, the beautiful memories you have of them, and the beautiful communications you can have with them. When you are focused on the body, you don't even try to make connections in spirit. You don't believe that they are around anymore. You go to the grave and grieve and suffer. They are not in the grave. They are with you. They are close to you. They are forever close to you. When you leave your body, they will meet you. They have not gone anywhere. They are merely a breath away. This seems a harsh lesson for those of you who still believe in bodies and still believe in suffering. But we assure you that as you forgive relentlessly, as you walk through your spiritual ascension, you will suffer less and less. You will come to see that whenever you are suffering, you are out of accord with truth and love. I am that one you know as Jesus, and we will speak to you tomorrow. Well, as if we didn't need to hear that again. When you're suffering, you're off track. When you feel bad, you're off track. So, of course, I need to hear this lesson. I'm sure some of you need to hear this lesson. Speaking of bodies, I brought my dog's ashes on this trip with us, and I've spread her ashes down in a couple of places, thinking it would be fun if she were still in the physical to be walking with her in these couple of places. One of them was not Yosemite, but Yellowstone, near Old Faithful. I did take her there once when she was in the physical. So I spread some ashes there. There was another location at Yellowstone that I put her ashes. It was near the water. And then we went on a hike in Washington a few days ago, and I put some of her ashes there. And whenever I have her ashes out, I don't think of her as being the ashes. So I feel like over time I've really just let go of the idea of grieving or the decision to grieve. I it doesn't feel like she's always with me, even though I know, you know, at the spiritual level she is. But I don't feel these feelings of like, I miss her so much, or, you know, there isn't that like heart-wrenching, like yearning feeling. So I feel like these lessons and these teachings are really helping me reconcile that. I can't explain it. I don't totally know what happens. I don't have these visions of like, you know, Mocha's spirit floating away, but I know that she's not these ashes, and that what I'm doing is more of just a sort of honoring of the time that we spent together when she was in the physical, without all that like heavy, grievy, yearning, lossy kind of stuff. So that's really helping me with this bodies thing. And I'm still a work in progress, because it is hard to reconcile what I think I know about beings that I'm connected to, and they're here and I can see them and I can call them, I can hug them. And when they're gone, that'll change. So I'm looking forward to staying on this path of telling myself I'm not a body. Nobody's a body. We're all spirit inhabiting human bodies, and that's only a little piece of ourselves. What I'm really going to try to do is follow Jesus's guidance today about this octopus thing, right? So even me, I'm not just Sherry hanging out in Washington. Like, there are many other embodied beings, or perhaps not embodied beings, that are connected to this, you know, octopus head, and we're all sharing information. And so maybe today I'll try to connect with that in some way, or send love to all those beings, something to prove to myself that I'm not alone, and whatever my grievances are, I'm not suffering either. It's all a choice. And I'm going to choose my right mind, my higher mind, my heart today, instead of all the other riffraff. Okay. Whatever suffers is not part of me. That's my focus for today. Thank you so much for being here. I'll see you tomorrow.